Let's talk. Hey everybody. Let's talk. I want to talk about some things that I felt like I should have known when I was graduating from my boot camp, because I went through a boot camp to learn how to code. Before that, I didn't have as much knowledge, or let's say immerse myself into coding. So I kind of wanted to go through that experience just to learn and see what it was. So during that time, you know, like, it was kind of exciting, it was new, and I went through a boot camp, and one of the things that, like, they kept telling me, or, you know, they tried to be very positive, but I feel like it did me a disservice, because I think when you go into something, you should be realistic and have realistic goals, and then you can prepare yourself better. So I want to talk about some things that bootcamp grads should know that not every bootcamp tells you. They want to be positive, because obviously they're not going to want you to go there if you're going to be rejected from employers, right? Nobody's going to pay for that. I wrote some notes down. Number one, you will have a hard time getting a job after the boot camp. Now, does that mean you won't get a job? No. It means that you should set realistic expectations. Some people will probably get an easier time, and it really depends on how much coding experience or exposure you had before you entered the boot camp and why you're entering it. Some people enter it for, you know, job enhancement. It really depends. I'm talking straight to the people who did not know how to code and who are just going there to learn, like, straight up. So just know, you know, because a lot of things, and a lot of times they tell you things like, oh, you know, you're going to be so marketable, and it is true. Developers are in demand right now. There's a high demand for them. When you look on the job boards, you see a bunch of jobs. But what they don't tell you is those jobs are specifically for experienced developers, or they have a certain years that they want. So don't be surprised if right after boot camp, as they're telling you, you're going to get a job, and they give you all this resume training and all these things that they try to boost you with, you may have a hard time finding a job. That doesn't mean you won't find a job. That just means it's going to take longer, and prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself for rejection, because you might get a lot of it. And if you're not the type of person who likes rejection, or if you're not the type of person who likes to hear no frequently, especially in something as hard as a tech interview, then maybe this profession isn't for you. Or maybe you should go through the route of getting a degree, which is a lot more expensive and a lot longer in terms of time investment as well. So leave that up to you. That's what I think. Another thing they don't tell you is, I feel like bootcamp grads are, a lot of developers have this kind of notion that they assume you have subpar knowledge or subpar information or knowledge set. It may be true, because you're there to learn coding. You're not necessarily there to get a computer science degree. You may not know all the computer science kind of terminologies or algorithms or what have you. So they're going to assume that you have a subpar knowledge set. So you're going in with this interview, or going in looking for a position, and they're going to assume that, oh, you don't have as much experience or knowledge as a real developer, whatever that means. This is a good one. This is a good one. I have read, this was when my journey was beginning, everyone making these recommendations, projects, make, open source projects, contribute, all this stuff. Now, I don't know who has time in their entire day to not only learn how to code and to continue to contribute to open source projects or to create all of these other projects and then go from start to finish, from concept to development to production to deployment. I don't know who has time for that. Like, honestly, I feel like this is such like an unrealistic thing that they tell you. Yes, create projects, but have realistic timelines too. You know what I mean? Like, you can go into creating a project and it's going to be incremental. It's going to have certain stages that you're in. If you're working on something for 3 months, bravo, congrats. You might be better than some others, but I felt like it was so unrealistic. They give you these projects and these lists of things. Like, I think we did a Twitter app on my boot camp. We did a personal blog, It was like, great, I have these on my GitHub or whatever, maybe you have an example web page or a website that you want to do. And I'm not trying to downplay some people, or these articles or these suggestions. I'm not trying to downplay that, because there is value there. But know that even if you put 110%, that employer may not think it's enough. Mostly because it depends on the type of project or job that you are applying for, honestly. I mean, a little personal blog is not going to do it if you're going into API or mobile apps. It's just not. Or a little Twitter app is not going to help if you're doing a different type of project with open source. So to me, I always felt like this is kind of nonsensical. For the way I would recommend it, or the reason why I would recommend a personal project mostly, is for you to get practice and for you to have an understanding of what code is doing and how it's working. That's pretty much it. And maybe you can throw it up as, hey, this is what I've been working on. If you want to take a look and see, how I've been moving forward as a developer, that can help. But don't expect employers to be impressed with it, because most likely they won't be. And it won't matter, because they'll either think it's not enough or want more or whatever it is. Okay, this goes on to number 1. I cannot stress this enough, okay? Be prepared for rejection like you've never been rejected before. When I first started, I think I applied to over about 300. Yes, you heard that right. 300 jobs before I even got to my first position that actually had development in it. 300 people. 300. Now, I developed the mentality, or I have the mentality of, great things take time, great things take rejection, and I embraced failure. Which, if you're not that type of person, good luck in this career, because you seriously should embrace rejection and embrace failure, and especially if you're coming out of a boot camp, because employers, for whatever reason, I honestly don't have the insider information on that. If you do, put it down in the comments, please. But employers basically will tell you no over and over and over, and you can go through interview process, technical coding interviews, up to the last stage, and they will I would still say keep moving forward. Just keep going, because anything worth having is going to take time. Again, start those projects, but not just for your portfolio as they do in the bootcamp, more so for your knowledge set that you're going to be creating for yourself as a developer in your lifelong journey. That's why you become a developer. It can be discouraging, but just keep moving forward, because if this at the end of the day is something that you're passionate about, and I feel like we should have all sorts of inclusions, all sorts of people, don't let anybody stop you. Don't let anyone say, no, it's not good enough. Keep going, keep moving forward. If you reached higher than 300, then bravo, man, you beat my score. Keep going and keep developing those skills and keep on to the journey. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see any other kind of content. My upload schedule is kind of crazy right now, but I will continue to make videos. See you in my next video. Bye!